is cold. I mean, the temperature is not that cold. It's probably in the upper 30s, but the wind is blowing hard. And that just makes it freaking miserable. Puts me in a really bad mood.
25 clear belt. Battery 438, 25 negative. Vehicle 2, 20 15, 4 heads 158, battery 25 off behind us.
I am just finished with a shoot in Baldwin City, and as you know, what I like to do whenever I come to a different town is do my little driving tour. And Baldwin City is the home of Baker University. So let's go around the block. And look at that. It's also been home of a tourist railroad line. They used to be, what were they called? Not the Smoky Hill, but oh, I forget. But they went out of business, went bankrupt, and so now I think there's something else operating out of that depot. There's a beautiful depot on the west side of town. And, you know, this is a very charming little community, small college. I came here one time when I was attending community college for some sort of event, engineering type thing, because I was taking a lot of classes that were more along those lines to go along with my drafting. You know, this is a small university. Do I want to go one more block? Maybe not. Don't do the complete university tour. There's quite a few universities in Douglas County. Then that's where we're at, is Douglas County, Kansas. It's interesting. I mean, of course, you have the big one, University of Kansas. This is probably a lesser well-known university, but I hear it's a pretty high quality college. And of course, there's Haskell Indian Nations University, which used to be an associate degree college, like a community college, but they upgraded to university status quite a few years back. So they're a 4-year university. It caters to Native Americans. They were a mission school, if you're familiar with the history of those. Or they used to take the children away from their parents and mandatorily take them to the university or to the school, and they were not allowed to speak their language or dress. Midland Railway is what it was called, and there's still a sign up for it. But, you know, they weren't allowed to dress in their traditional outfits. They had to dress the clothing of the prevailing culture. And it's quite a sad chapter in history now. Like that nice little downtown area. we'll go on up to the depot and then end it there. A lot of beautiful old homes in this town too. Very, very, very quiet. Make sure there's no low-hanging wires or tree branches. I gotta duck my camera down if there are. Wouldn't want to destroy my camera or the wires. I'm sure the tree branches would handle it just fine. This camera is great for this, especially when you can use a Bluetooth microphone with it. Although I say that and the audio will probably turn out like crap, and I'll end up covering it up with music just to save it. Maybe we'll use the tourist railroad up here as a turnaround. I'm not sure if they even exist anymore, or if they come up this far. I think they operate out of Ottawa, which was always their goal. It looks like they have some stuff here still, so. I know they always had the goal of operating from Ottawa to here. Here's the Santa Fe Depot. Sorry, we're closed. And their equipment that they have here. Santa Fe heavyweight car. It says Midland Railway Express Agency. So maybe it's still operating as Midland, but I don't know. Kansas City Southern. And then some double-decker commuter cars, and I see an engine over there too. All right. This is where we'll end our little driving tour. Rachia. Get a nice view of the depot here. Ooh. Usually if I do a driving tour of Lawrence, I start downtown, but I'm coming up from the south, and I thought maybe let's go through the campus. And this campus, I swear, is one of the most beautiful campuses in the United States, especially in spring. This, of course, being the University of Kansas campus. Be passing close to the area where the inventor of basketball coached most of his career, and the basketball arena is named after him, Naismith Hall. But that's over to the right, and yeah, it's right to the right there. And you're not seeing it very well. Now, I doubt if we'll be able to go right through the middle of the campus because of they have the campus blocked off. It's a pedestrian area, usually during the day. We might be able to go through the lower part, but we'll see what we see when we get there. I never went to this university. I wanted to, but I never did. But I've spent a lot of time here on this campus. Well, here in Lawrence. Let's see, what do we have? It'll tell us. Restricted access. Check with attendant. Nah, we won't try it. There's no cars going back and forth there. This is where all the fraternities and sororities are. Let's see, I believe we have to make a turn. Yeah. We could also go around the campus to the south. Oop. You don't have to run. I won't run you over. Oh, they're redoing the football stadium. You can see good parts of the campus from here, and this is a beautiful drive too. We'll be passing right by the, I don't know how do you say it, Campanile. It's a Carillion bell tower, and there's an organ at the bottom, like an organ keyboard at the bottom, I would guess, where you can actually play the bells like a musical instrument. And that's this tower right here. It's a big landmark of the campus. Man, they got their brand new stadium going. Gotta have a brand new stadium. Football stadium. This school is not very well known for its football, but its basketball is usually top in the country, or up there in the top. Except not this year. They were pretty bad this year. And yeah, you can see the campus pretty well. There's a natural history museum that's supposed to be really good, which is, I believe, that place right there that looks sort of like a church. Or maybe it's this place over here. I don't know. I think that's the Natural History Museum right there ahead of us. And next to that is the Student Union. Somewhere up here I can make a turn, but not here. Well, I thought they were completely tearing down it doesn't look like they're completely tearing down, they're just adding to it. Not being a fan of football, I really could care less, but it's a major effort, apparently. Ugh. Rock, Chalk, Jayhawk. All right, let's try making a right here and then going over Mount Oread, which is this huge hill here. The campus is on top of. There's a local college radio station, so KJHK, and one of their ads is the only radio station in the Midwest that broadcasts from the top of a mountain. We're like on the foothills. Oh, you can see how steep this is and how treacherous this could be in wintertime. They call this Mount Oread. It overlooks the town of Lawrence. I mean, look how pretty it is here in springtime, especially these old Victorian houses. Many of them around here fallen victim to slumlords because they nicknamed this area here the student ghetto. Big need for student housing, and of course, you know, you got people who will take full advantage of that and make as much money as they can, do as little as they can for it. Not all landlords are that bad, but quite a few of them. Very well-known problem. I lived here in Lawrence in 1996, but only for about 9 months. Not very long. It's one of my favorite places. I love Lawrence. I could live here still. There's the Douglas County Courthouse. And here we are on Massachusetts Street. Massachusetts Street has always been a prime address for businesses, and here's people stopping in the middle of the road. Taking their time. You know, there's plenty of parking spaces. I could just do that. Don't get me started. Anyway, this has been a prime address to run a business. High rent here. Plenty of foot traffic still to this day, but it too has fallen victim to all of commerce moving to online. It's a Monday morning, not much here going on right now. I'm going to go all the way up because I'm going to have, my goal is to, have coffee. We just, over here on the left, you can't see, I just passed it. I wonder if I can tilt that way. Yep, that's Weaver's department store. Been there since it says established 1857. Family run business, old school department store. They even have the pneumatic tubes inside. It's a complete throwback to another era. It's wonderful that it still exists. Here's where I shall go for my coffee, I think, if they're open. Oh, it doesn't look like they're open. What goes on with that? Maybe they are. Yep, I see some lights on in there. We'll try that. If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. Here's the Eldridge Hotel. Once was known as the Free State Hotel. This was burned in 1855 by the pro-slave forces who wanted to turn this into a slave state. And they call that popular sovereignty, where the states got to choose whether they came into the Union as free or slave, which was a terrible idea. And a bunch of New Englanders came down who were anti-slavery, prohibition of their era, and established Lawrence. And Lawrence became known as a Free State Fortress. And it's still nicknamed that, really. It's the bastion of free thinking, liberalism in the state of Kansas. And during the Civil War, it became a target. And one day in 1863, a bunch of Missourians came over to burn the town down and kill as many men and boys of military age that they could find, so they wouldn't go into Missouri and cause trouble there. And that was a pretty infamous day in the history of the United States and Civil War. And of course, you know, Bleeding Kansas. This area here is actually where the Civil War started in the United States. Where all the fighting over the issue of slavery started, and when things started happening here, everybody knew that the Civil War was coming and started preparing for it, arming themselves up and everything. And I could be wrong in my numbers, but I think it was somewhere around 150 people were killed when William Quantrill and his people came and raided Lawrence. And ironically, William Quantrill came to Lawrence before that, was a school teacher here. But apparently he wasn't doing very well because he quickly became known as a thief and a cattle rustler and everything else like that. So, don't know what happened to that guy. He was actually originally from Ohio, too. So, he's not really a Southerner. But all right. Take advantage of this good parking. I think maybe I need to go up to the other place and park. We can park here. Find a shady spot. If there is one. Maybe that will be the... Nope, right up here. We'll park right here. Well, we're here, we're queer, get used to it. Hee hee. We'll start the way I always like to start. And walking down this alley here. If I need another coffee option, I can go here. Bourgeois Pig. It doesn't serve food though, so. And they don't look to be open either. Too early, I guess? I don't know. And there's a Weaver's department store. Pretty neat. Underneath that modern facade is a much older building. All right. I'll see if our other place is open. Nope, the sign says they're closed Mondays. See if these are open. There used to be Henry's a long time ago. Every day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's go to this other place. But that place, I'll try it someday. I don't know. I like coffee houses that are open at night. And maybe I'll have bad luck up here too. They may be closed on Monday. Maybe a thing here in Lawrence. But gives me an opportunity to walk up an alley. The alley. But one disadvantage of alleys are it's where they put their dumpsters, and the dumpsters aren't always that fresh. Oh, I think that's the back of the bottleneck right there. I like the unrefined history aspect of these alleys. It's like nothing has really changed that much, and it's all an afterthought. So, peace over war. That's an interesting sign. You didn't stop abortion. You just got rid of the safest option. Interesting mural. Lawrence. And here's the hookah house. Be interesting if I have a hard time finding coffee in Lawrence. Fine. There's the Eldridge or the Free State Hotel. Looks like we're open. Woo-hoo. Coffee. I like the big windows in the front here. This is our live shot location. It's like our second. We had to move here because a security guard told us we were on private property and didn't want us by the Kansas City election board. Which I guess, my thought was, they don't have a right to say that. But I guess with private property, property owner doesn't want you there, then you can't be there. So we moved here. And nobody bothered us here, fortunately. That's the way it goes sometimes. And yesterday and today I had to struggle with the car, the gas cap. The door that you open with the dashboard under the dash here with the lever wouldn't open, and I couldn't put gas in. And normally I'm very good about if it gets to be about a half a tank or just a little bit above, I always put gas in because you never know. And then yesterday, I didn't get to, and Of course, it got below a quarter of a tank, and so it was really, I don't know, my mind couldn't deal with it, but I got with another photographer, and together we were able to get it to open. It just takes two people. You can't do it with one person, so arg. And there's a little spring in there that's broken, and I guess it's a $10 part, and I'm joking. Well, yeah, $10 part, but with labor it'll be $500. Pretty cynical there. Anyway, so now we're done with our live hits, and I'm going back, and I'm endeavoring to have some coffee. My stomach's been really this morning, and it could be because I ate bad on the road. Had a lot of sugary stuff, and now I'm paying for it. So, okay, let's head on back. Hey, how you doing? Hope my lips are matching the sound. I'm using a different camera. But we're here at Liberty Memorial working on a story. It's just an interview. But, yeah. So, interesting story to me. You have to tune in tomorrow, I guess, to find out what it's about. But it is that time of day. I've had a very upset stomach. So I'm sort of debating coffee, actually. Oh my God. Debating coffee? Say it ain't so. But nowhere around here makes good tea. So, anyway, I'll figure it out. Or I could just listen to the scanner and then go home later. Nah, I think I'll do coffee or tea or some sort of hot drink. It's a hot drink day. It's pretty yucky outside. Boy, by this time yesterday in Lawrence, the weather was much nicer. It's kind of a blustery, yucky day. Hot drink weather. This is me. I'm in the Jeep today. Woohoo! Storm chasing.
There will be a trailhead maybe to pull off somewhere nearby.
As we are driving like 15 miles an hour on some of these back roads, because the visibility is just so poor. And look at all of this lightning that we're seeing too. Steve, my photographer, just tapped me on the shoulder and says, yeah, that's hail that we're hearing now too. And I know you can just barely see it just ahead, but see those orange flashing lights on the camera in front of you? That's an Evergy crew we just drove by. They're working on, I think, maybe a down power line or a down tree limb up here. So this is the kind of thing that we've been seeing. It's been sort of off and on, where you'll get these heavy downpours that completely obstruct visibility, and then it'll kind of clear up for a little bit. But we're also noticing that the roads are very, very waterlogged. Here, I'll switch back again so you can see these crews as we drive by them. I know it's hard to see because it's raining so hard. Honestly, not an enviable job right now. Props to these people for being out here working on this stuff. But if you're driving on the roadways, this is what you might get caught out in. So just be mindful of that and be careful as you're driving on these roads. Pick your routes carefully because you might get some waterlogged hydroplane type roads out here. Let's head out to Moundville. We'll go look at that, spray that, and then GTFO. Yeah, Claire and Tim are live in the midday. We don't seem to be, so that is good. Gotcha. We're not even in any fucking shots or anything like that. Jamie just told us to go. And like the whole town is out here cleaning up. There's like multiple buildings that have been it's people outside at different buildings like working on things. So
It's not as if this day isn't already ridiculously long. But the kids have a swim meet today too. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining about coming. It's just, it's too much with having to get up at 1, having, I don't know what, a 10-hour day, and then got to get up early again tomorrow, go back down to Nevada. So, I don't know if they allow video in these things, you know, being a school function, so we'll find out. I'm not sure I'm getting the right kid.
Over there, he's coming up now to the left.
We just got done with our morning coverage here in Nevada, Missouri. Probably in one of the worst hit places. This is a motel that's been converted into residential housing for what, the Missouri Welding Institute. And there's a lot of damage here. And, you know, I've learned from bitter experience, you gotta be very, very careful walking around this stuff because there's nails and broken glass and jagged, sharp metal everywhere. So I'm keeping my feet out of it as much as possible. The damage to this car is incredible. They say it was a EF1, 98 miles an hour, but I think I'm seeing much more extreme damage than that. I think maybe 98 miles an hour, but there may have been these little multi-vortexes that can do a lot more damage and actually have higher wind speeds. And look into a room here and there's no roof. And then out here, just tremendous damage everywhere. And it's kind of coolish this morning. It's starting to rain, so ugh. And I guess we're staying here today and then doing stuff here in the morning tomorrow too. Just incredible damage. That must mean it's Coffee 30. Coffee. The Dongs to Dongy Funland, so that Stella can have her blood drawn, lab work done. Woohoo! Fun. Stella, they're taking you away forever. Bye, Stella. Jimmy, where's your Stella? Jimmy, where'd she go? Oh no, are you worried? Yeah, he's worried. He's worried he won't get pet. Was it a horrible experience, Bella? Oh, she won't even talk to us. No, she just wants to leave. All right, let's leave. Oop. We're back here in Nevada live, right behind where we were live yesterday. This is probably some of the most dramatic damage. And the power is coming on. You can hear all the security systems in these businesses are beeping. And I don't know how much I can see over here. I don't want to go too far because the aforementioned nails and sharp debris. You can see across the street, not touched at all. Lights have been on. Businesses still operating. But over here, absolute destruction. I'm still having a hard time believing it was only a 98 miles an hour wind. I believe that some of this damage may be explained by what they call suction vortices, little tornadoes within the tornado that have much higher destructive potential because they're spinning much faster around the main tornado. But I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to pretend that I even really know what I'm talking about. But I've been through a 100-mile-an-hour wind in a car, and it didn't do this. On our way out of town, in an effort to stay awake and fill our tummies, it's time for a culinary adventure here. White Grill. I bet you this place is pretty old. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. It's on an old road. Yep, looks pretty cool. And I like the part of town it's in, too. Although, looks pretty abandoned, but yeah, I like this. I like the vibe. This is called The Mess. And it's messily delicious. Severe weather starting at 2. Oh, we are sassified. Hey, how you doing? It's been a long week of driving, and I'm trying a new old camera. This one right here is actually the kid's phone, and I've decided I'm going to bring the kid's phone in the morning for the extra radar camera capability, and keep it away from the kids in the morning because it's become a big distraction, and you know, the old video game screen addiction has kicked in with a couple of the kids, and their grades are dropping, so we'll have it for them in the afternoon, evening, when we can watch it better. But in the mornings, it's been a source of consternation for the missus trying to get the kids out of the house, and one of them has decided to sneak some time on the phone, and they fight over it a lot anyway. They're real good accountants when it comes to this device. So I'm giving it a try. Hopefully I don't have any lip flap because I turned off the stabilization on this camera. Don't need it when it's mounted on the dash. And yeah, we'll see how it works. But yeah, switch over to radar view here. And I have my triple pane, which is the big reason why I want it. My work phone is terrible. It will not send anything through the HDMI. I would like to replace it with a upgraded, more capable phone, but I don't know if that's any kind of justification for the money they might spend. So yeah, I got this one. See how it works. But anyway, it is time for coffee. I had a grub already at the White Grill, which was really good, and now it's time for coffee. I don't know if I need grub. It's turned into a rainy, grismal day. And of course, they're talking about severe weather down south. They're real worried about that in Nevada. Of course, it's a good hot drink weather. Hot drink. Fish. And now to Price Slopper for the rest of the meal. We're in recovery mode from the week, so we're not doing much. You have to get groceries. I might go out later. I don't know. Groceries. We got a list. And my helper's here. Here at Costco, we've shopped. The snack bar. It is a busy day here. I guess the weather is getting nice. This was really cold earlier. And we got a food truck here. Vietnamese street food. Alright, see how busy it is. Well, the family is doing their own thing today, so I didn't get to come here during the week. So now's my chance to try this place out on a Sunday. The Topic. I'm not lucky today. They're only doing to-go orders, so So I've been doing way too much driving for work this week, and it's worn me down. And somebody's gonna share their crappy music taste with me, whether I want to hear it or not. So didn't feel like getting out yesterday. I guess today is my day to get out and enjoy. So that's what I'm doing. So we'll try grinders here, like we did not too long ago. We are sassified. Well, the weather is getting nice. Freeze your head. And it's a nice part of town. But it is time to move on. Shopping. And now we're here at wife's enemy number 2. I think Worst Buy should have a wife's enemy designation if I haven't already given it one, and Alzheimer's has made me forget. But yeah, I think Worst Buy should be wife's enemy number 3, I guess. Nope, wife's enemy number 4. Bedford is number 3. Parkville, Missouri. Nice for a Sunday drive. Look how pretty it is. Spring is kind of like maxed out, I think. The flowers are giving way for leaves, but still. Very pretty. Here's that bed and breakfast right here. Done up really nice. There's still some pretty flowers up here. I believe these are red buds. They stay blooming much longer than most, but the dogwoods, they're already turning to green from white, shedding their white petals and bringing out the green leaves. All right, I almost forgot. I need to go to Menards for my groceries. Soup, sugar-free pudding, And chips. We've shopped. Look at the sunset through the dirty windshield. Well, I guess that's it for another week. Woohoo!